I was hired to clear a palace no one could stay in. I don't usually talk about this, not because it's a secret, but because every time I bring it up, people assume I'm exaggerating or making it up. I'm not. I'm just putting this out there so it exists somewhere. My name isn't important. What matters is the job I used to do. I was 34 at the time. I lived alone in a small town in Eastern Europe. I didn't belong to any group. I didn't have enemies. I wasn't violent. I just did work that most people didn't want to do. My job was clearing properties. Developers would buy land with old houses on it. Sometimes people refused to leave. Sometimes no one had lived there for years, but the place had a reputation. My role was to go in, stay long enough to prove the place was empty, and make it safe for renovation. Most jobs were simple. I kept a small notebook with addresses written inside. Every morning I'd wake up early, start my old motorcycle, and go wherever the next name told me to go. That was my routine. Until I got a message from a company in the capital. The message came in the evening. It was short. They wanted to hire me directly. They didn't mention money, which already told me they were serious. The address was for a place called Ravenshollow Estate. I hadn't heard that name in years. Ravenshollow was an old palace on the edge of Blackthorn Forest, a few kilometers outside a small city. It used to belong to a noble family. The last owner died decades ago, and the estate was abandoned. People said he was murdered inside the palace. People also said no one could stay there overnight. I'd heard stories growing up, people trying to sleep inside and leaving before morning, workers quitting after one shift. No one could explain exactly why. I told myself what I always did. Stories spread faster than facts. I agreed to the job. I left the next afternoon. As I rode, the road slowly emptied. Houses disappeared. The trees got thicker. The lights started to change as the sun went down. When I reached the estate gate, I stopped the bike. The gate was old iron, bent inward and wrapped in dead vines. I pushed it open enough to get through. When I shut off the engine, everything went quiet. No birds, no insects, nothing. I stepped inside. Up close, the palace looked worse than I expected. Tall ceilings, long corridors, paintings on the walls with their faces scratched out. Some had the eyes removed completely. I felt uncomfortable, but that wasn't unusual. I called out to check if anyone was inside. My voice echoed back differently than it should have. It sounded heavier. I ignored it. I found what looked like the main bedroom. There was an old bed frame still intact. I felt dizzy all of a sudden, like I'd stood up too fast. I lay down to rest for a moment. I don't know how long I slept. I woke up to a sound. It sounded like someone screaming, but muffled, like it was coming from under the floor. I followed it down a corridor. I stopped at a small room with the door half open. Inside, there were chains on the floor, dark stains on the stone. An oil lamp was burning, even though there was no wind. The flame didn't move. When I stepped inside, the lamp went out. Everything went dark. Then I heard a voice very close to my ear. "You came to take this place." I tried to move, but I couldn't. Something appeared in front of me. It looked like a person, but unfinished, like smoke shaped into a body. Where the face should have been, there was nothing. It was holding something made of bone and hair. It laughed. The room changed. The palace looked new again, clean, lit. I was standing in a large hall. A man stood in chains in front of me. I knew somehow he was the owner of the palace. Another figure stood opposite him. The same thing I'd seen in the dark, now clearer. I understood. The same thing I'd seen in the dark, now clearer. I understood without being told. The owner had banished this man long ago, for rituals, for killing people. The figure used something dark. The shadows moved. The owner was killed in front of me. Blood hit the floor. Then the figure turned toward me. It said it was my turn. I felt pain in my chest. My body lifted off the ground. My vision went white. Something was pulling at me. Then another presence appeared. The owner was there again. Not angry, just tired. He said there would be no more blood in this place. The figure screamed. The walls shook. The darkness collapsed inward. I fell. I woke up in the morning. The palace was ruined again. Silent, empty. I never went back. I warned the developers. I refused the money. I told them to leave the place alone. Ravenshollow Estate is still empty. People in the nearby city still say that some nights lights appear inside the palace, and that it looks whole again, like it's waiting.